Well, hey everybody. What we're going to do today is take the maple shed and lower it. So right now, these 4x4s, there's 10 of them total, 5 on the side. They're 12 foot long, and I bought them 12 foot long because I was going to bury them. Started digging the holes, discovered quickly I couldn't bury them, so I built them at the full height. Come back to think about it, I want to cut 3.5 foot of them, each one off the bottom, and effectively lower the whole shed down. So step 2 will be roofing and cupola building up on the top here. Cupola will be about 6 foot long and about 3 foot wide. And then I have the steel roofing to put on. So Jacob's coming out and going to give me a hand, and we'll go through the steps to lower the shed and to put the roof and the cupola on. So step 1 was to measure each 4x4 down from the same point, which is from the top, and make a mark. So did that the other day, and then you see here there's a couple bracers that go just to strengthen the building as it was standing, because it was prone to leaning while it was just a box. So put some triangles in there. There's some back there. Some of them are already out, and some of them have already been moved. And this one is one that's been moved. The cut line will be just below that current 2x6. So anything that was below that or passed through that has to come off. So for example, this bracer here can stay. So there's a couple braces that we'll cut off or pound out, and then we'll get to cutting the 4x4. All right, so we had our first little hiccup already. I cut on the back side, no problem. When I came up here, the circular saw was hitting on this and it wouldn't let me cut through. So we just went ahead and went around and marked down 3/4 of an inch. So the building will be a little bit taller than it was going to be originally. It'll still be taken up by the 2x8s that I put at the very bottom, so won't matter much. And this was the only one that I cut, so it's going to have half of it's not going to be holding anything, but it won't matter much. And we have a Jacob siding, yay! Woo! All right, so we have the center 6 4x4s cut through. They're not bearing any weight. They might be sitting on it, but they're not responsible for anything anymore, as evidenced by the fact that this one's totally missing. So what we did then here is we ran a temporary span across this is the front of the building that we're looking at now. And the reason why we did that was to take the weight off of the bottom so that when I make the cut, it doesn't bind. Second thing we did was we got a floor jack and one of the cutoff 4x4s, so that when we do relieve the weight of the building, we can lower it down with the jack. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and make these cuts, the newer lower cuts, with the circular saw, and then once everything's free and clear, we can look to lower that side down. Okay, here at Hillbilly House Movers, we had a few unforeseen circumstances where, long story short, we had it different in our minds than it was in real life. So what we ended up with is, of course, now we've got 8 of the 10 4x4s cut out. Only the 2 rear 4x4s are still original length. So what we've got is a couple pine bases and some 4x4 crib, and it's resting on this 2x8 right now that's fastened temporarily. We're going to go to the back. I don't know if you can see the lean. On film. In real life, it's
pretty big lean.
as Jacob stated, a pretty big lean. So what we're going to do is we're going to fasten another 2x8 across the back here, cut down the legs, get the legs out, and with this fine hydraulic car jack, and we'll start lowering it down. We think once we get this severe downhill lean reestablished, the building will be more stable overall, and we'll just keep bringing it down until it rests on the blocks again. These blocks here, right there, there's a block for every post. So eventually the building will sit on the blocks again, and it's been a challenge so far, but so far we've been up to it. Nobody's got hurt, nothing's been broke, so hoping to keep that streak alive. All right, so it's hard to film it and do it, so we just decided just to do it. But what you might be able to tell is this end hasn't changed since we left, but this end here, the back of the shed, is actually, what'd you say, 2 feet lower?
Probably.
We've got a little bit more cut to make, so it's just been jacking it up with the floor jack on a beam, making the cut, lowering it down, reattaching the board, jack it back up, take the weight off, lowering it, cutting it, lowering it down. So we've got at least 1 or 2 more cuts to make. We're going about a foot a cut, and that's how much we have to the bottom line there. With the front already being finished cut but cribbed, we're just trying to decide what's the safest, most economical use of our time and saving the shed here to making the cut. So I just wanted to show you how it looks as we're about halfway through the lower process. I think, Jacob, I can tell you that this will be the last time I ever lower a shed. I don't know about you.
Right.
All right, we'll catch you, y'all. Hopefully we'll catch you as we start maybe getting the shed down to ground level.
Is it rolling? We rolling.
Okay. All right, so what we did off camera, it was actually kind of cool. Worked out cool anyway. Is we got the back, I'm standing in the front, we got the back all the way down to ground level, finished cut. So what we have here are a couple stumps and some cribbing we built. The front is also cut down to finished height. So we'll take the floor jack and take the weight off of the cribbing by jacking on this 2x, and then Jacob and I will remove the cribbing and we'll lower it down slowly and easily on the jack. Maybe. Oh, this is one fast forward. We're what do they call it? More speed. Can you grab me one of those short 4x?
Yeah.
Just need a little bit. Come off. Yes, okay. Okay.
Do we want to move this one?
No, because it blocks where I want it to be.
Oh, okay.
So
we'll have to shift it from there.
Yeah, we'll have to move it to the shed. So we'll see how easy and nice and easy we can go. Sometimes we're easy, sometimes we're not easy. That's pretty easy, buddy. Okay. We're on the ground level. Jack is free. So, all right, so we've got a little bit of tune-up work to do as we were making the cuts and jacking it. The shed twisted and tweaked and skewed, whatever other words you want for directions that you didn't want to go. So we're going to square it back up. These are temporary, so we'll take these off. We'll put on some more permanent bracing. We got some 2x4s we'll reuse for that.
Right.
But the shed now stands just a little bit taller than 8.5 feet to the inside. It's going to be an open ceiling plan. I'll show you more when we get there. But that was how to take your shed that was too tall to a shed that was an appropriate level of tallness. So, Jacob, success means nobody got hurt, nothing got broke. So, had fun making the video. Thank you for helping.
Yep.
And I hope you find this useful.